15 years of my life, like I've spent most of my childhood there. There was no electricity, right? So that sort of village. And I believe like the curiosity that I had to learn everything actually got me out of that place. And when I was writing the book in between, the struggle I had is, do I add data structure and algorithms in the book or not? Because that takes a shape of its own. Google asks it. So possibly like I should include it. At the same time, I had seen none of the application of DSA in my PM role or like any of the PMs I talked while researching. So then I decided to keep it out of, the Tech Simplified. And come 2022-23, I'm talking to a Google PM, a friend who has joined Google, and he's like, yeah, they don't ask DSA anymore in PM rounds.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sugat and I'm a product manager at Meta, and I create content related to product management, interview experience and career. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to check out some of my previous videos where I've spoken to more than 50 PMs understanding their entire career and product management journey. Unlike some of my previous videos, this video is a bit different because here we would be trying to understand what is the next career ladder after being a product manager. We must have heard about generally product management get into a founder or a CEO position, but let's talk from the people who have actually transitioned their career from being a product manager to starting up their own company. And with that, we have our very special guest, Deepak Singh, the founder of PMCurve. Welcome, Deepak.
Thank you, Sugat. Thank you for getting me on this podcast. And hi to viewers. I think let's start. Very excited for this.
Amazing. So we're gonna be hearing the entire journey of Deepak. He has been a PM at companies like Flipkart, Unacademy, Upgrad, and it would be very interesting what helped him to transition into founding his own company. Deepak is not only a founder of PM Curve, but also the writer and the author of the famous best-selling book Tech Simplified. And if you haven't read that, highly recommend to read this book for all the aspiring product managers. Stay tuned, keep watching the video till end because we're gonna be talking a lot of interesting discussion, and towards the end we have a rapid fire section as well where we're gonna be understanding some or hearing some candid answers from Deepak. Folks, before starting, please like, share and subscribe this channel and video so that it reaches out to a lot and lot of other viewers and they can get the best out of it. Without any further ado, let's get started. Deepak, we would love to understand your journey from being a product manager to founder. What were your inspirations and your move in doing that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because, reflection actually helps us tie a lot of things that we have done throughout your career. But I would say like I'm an accidental founder. I sort of like I always had aspiration to start a company, and but at the same time I knew that like given my responsibilities towards family and other financial obligations, it will be hard for me to sort of start a company. And that way, like PM role actually helped a lot in the sense that during different stints that I've done, like Upgrad, I was the first PM, stayed there for 2.5 years, saw the whole pre-PMF to PMF to growth. MX Player, again, we launched a OTT platform, games platform, saw those launches, saw the growth of that. And then there is Flipkart, where I looked after games and gamification, conversational AI. I think this was before the whole GPT and AI boom happened. So we were building shopping assistant for Flipkart. And the good thing that this role sort of gave me is the confidence to take initiatives and sort of seeing those initiatives through, right? And I would say like I've also been lucky because, for example, Upgrad founders, these are like super intelligent people, but who are also like very humble. And they were willing to sort of listen to a PM who is doing my first PM job was actually Upgrad, right? So they were willing to listen to me. They were willing to sort of give me some room to implement my ideas and all that sort of helped me a lot, like growing as a person. uh, I was also fortunate to see like Ronnie Screwvala, who is a serial entrepreneur, very respected, like founder of UTV and now RSVP and Upgrad, right? So I saw him very closely while my time at Upgrad, and seeing him operating was a very liberating experience. So I would say, like, if I had to sum up the whole journey, it is basically like working across companies of different shapes and sizes. Like Flipkart is a very different company than Unacademy. Unacademy is a very different company than Upgrad when I joined. And all these are very different companies as compared to MX Player, which was a part of a larger, corp, Times Internet. Uh, so, like across these companies, looking at different initiatives and not just like product initiatives, also business initiatives. Like I have managed growth of revenue growth or user growth across my roles. uh, I have managed people across my roles ever since like my first role as a PM. So all these, I would say, actually gave me the confidence that okay, what if I take an initiative, another initiative, but this time I don't have a founder to report to because I've mostly worked with founders and see how it goes, right? And which is why I say I'm more of an accidental founder because there was a certain time like when I was leaving an academy and I was like, "Ki, this is the time. Like I have spent 10 years of my first 10 years of my career learning. Possibly like next 2 3 years could be just about building something of my own, right?" And that's where PM Curve sort of started, right? So
Awesome,
so
awesome.
that's basically the first part, right? The second part, which a lot of people don't know, because see, the first part is something I feel like a lot of people have experienced. The second part is more interesting, which comes from my core personality. So I come from a very small village. It's somewhere on the border of UP and Bihar. And to give you a sense of like what sort of village it is, like in the first 15 years of my life, like I've spent most of my childhood there, there was no electricity, right? So that sort of village. And I believe like the curiosity that I had to learn everything actually got me out of that place. I went to IIT Kharagpur, then there also I did couple of degrees. Like usually people do one degree. I did major and minor. And this learning has been like a recurring theme throughout my life. And if you flip learning, writing
Hmm,
and teaching becomes, the second nature. So
true.
writing in the sense of like Tech Simplified, writing growth catalyst, blog posts and all that. And then teaching is where the PM curve fits in, which is like take a domain,
Amazing.
try to master the domain, and then try to disseminate that information, right? And which is why, like, I believe like PMCurve is not just a company, not just a startup. It's something that I'm going to keep doing uh, for as long as I can do it, right? So
Amazing.
that's a part of story not a lot of people know. So I thought it's important to sort of share that. Uh, yeah, that's
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for sharing your insights and your life journey, what actually finally led you start your own company. For folks who are new to the channel or who haven't heard about PM Curve, Deepak, can you introduce what is PM Curve and also about the book Tech
yeah.
Simplified? Would love to know from you.
Yeah, so Tech Simplified is easier to explain, so I'll go there. So Tech
Yeah,
Simplified emerged from the problem that 60-70% of PMs don't come from technical background. Now these people, like I myself, don't come from technical background, even if I'm an engineer. And these people, while they're smart, they're super smart, they're good generalists, they struggle a lot when talking to engineers, or even sort of, they also have this imposter syndrome that I'm possibly not understanding what engineers are doing, and because of that I'm not a great PM, whereas they are, by the way. Like even if they don't understand tech, I've seen like some of the best PMs who don't understand tech. But this imposter syndrome, this problem at the fundamental level arises because of couple of reasons. One, most of the tech literature is written by techies, so there is an assumption that the person who is reading this literature has actually done undergraduate course in computer science and all. And the second problem is there is no definite syllabus for PMs to read from. So if you are a techie, you know that this is what I need to learn in front end. If I'm working on backend, this is basically the tech that backend is using, so I need to learn this. Possibly beyond that, like I need to learn DSA and uh, other stuff. But for PMs, the syllabus was not defined. So these two reasons, which is are the sort of what led to Tech Simplified, which is like, can I write it in a language? Can we write tech in a language that even an eighth grader can understand? That was literally the benchmark. Can an eighth grader understand that? And Grammarly helped me with that because I could put like the whole book there and it could tell me, okay, this is hard to read. This is a ninth grader, 10th grader sort of English and all that. And the second was, defining that syllabus, which took a lot of time. Like, what do you keep? What do you remove? Right? I'll give you a very simple example. So I appeared for Google in 2018, and I failed the technical round for Google PM. Like, it's actually pretty hard round, at least back in 2018. And there was one DSA problem, there was one system design problem, and I had prepared, but yeah, there's a difference between knowing something and knowing the name of something, right? That's what Feynman says. So I knew the names, but I could not solve the problems. And when I was writing the book in between, the struggle I had is, do I add data structure and algorithms in the book or not? Because that takes a shape of its own. Google asks it. So possibly like I should include it. At the same time, I had seen none of the application of DSA in my PM role or like any of the PMs I talked while researching. So then I decided to keep it out of, the Tech Simplified. And come 2022-23, I'm talking to a Google PM, a friend who has joined Google, and he's like, yeah, they don't ask DSA anymore in PM rounds. They ask system design, which is what Tech Simplified is all about, but not DSA. So yeah, I feel like it was a very first principled approach to sort of define the syllabus, and that's what the book is all about. Like, so that anybody can read it and it can define the syllabus for technology for PMs, right? So that's Tech Simplified. Coming to PMCurve, again, PMCurve again came from an idea, again problem. You'll see, like I'm very very problem centric. Like I'm like, let me see if there is a problem and then go after it. So one of the problems I've seen across companies I've worked is like very smart people like coming from elite colleges, or even like very smart people not coming from elite colleges, but they have the aptitude and hunger, and they struggle a lot. So they don't struggle much with cracking the PM interview, but they struggle a lot when they get to do the job in their real lives, right? So some of those, like, depending on the company, they go into like they just start doing project management. Some of those start doing some of the other stuff, you know uh, in some cases they are doing analyst work, in some cases they're, so this is like very substandard across startups. I feel like Fang has done a very good job, and you can speak about that, like Meta or Google, like they have done a very good job for allowing their PMs to do the PM work, but that does not happen in startups. And the problem is not that, by the way. The problem was like, you can see founders in India sort of fundamentally questioning whether PM rule, the kind of salaries that we pay for PMs, is it even worth it, right? Because what is the real impact? And engineers can show impact in the lines of code, a designer can show impact in the design. Where is the PM's impact? And if it is just a project management job, why can't I hire a much cheaper project manager to do that, right? That's the fundamental question a lot of people are asking also, right? Brian Chesky made that move to move PMs to PMM role, right? Apple never had like the traditional PM role. So you see like these questions arising because once a function gets established, that's the next question people are going to ask. Where is the impact? And it hurts in couple of ways. One, it hurts budding PMs with no fault of their own. They have done everything they were asked for. And second, it hurts the industry. You see tens of billions of capital coming in India, and we sort of, taking an idea, gaining the traction, raising more funds, marketing a lot around it, getting users, and then finally failing. It's like it has become like, it's not even an exception, like it's something that has happened across a lot of startups in India. And I believe the solution to both is the same, which is like, get founders build that product mindset by giving them the right content and tools, and get PMs become super effective. Like they should literally be asking like, what is the impact I'm creating? And they should know how to create that impact. So that sort of content and tooling and community, I feel, is what PMCurve is after. The goal is very simple. The goal is to have like, ecosystem level impact in sort of helping PMs achieve the skills and the impact is the paramount. Like I don't believe that you just learn something and then you are good. I'm like, what, where is the impact, right? So impact is the true litmus test of PMCurve that we are going after. So yeah, I think I just broken it down. I just realized I just broken it down like a PM, which is problem, personas, their problems, and this is the solution, right? I hope it helps the audience wrap their heads around it. Wrap their heads around it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think thanks a lot for sharing your entire, about the how you derived or started even with the PM Curve and Tech Simplified, folks. The links would be in the description. So if you haven't bought the book or read about it, please go and look into it, and even can look into the PM Curve website and know about it. Awesome.
Thank you,
So
Sukat.
Deepak, let's keep moving and would love to know, right? One of the major challenge any person faces starting a company is coming out of that job mindset and the salary mindset,
Yeah.
right? Every month you get salary and salary, and then at one point of the time, like, when do I even start, right? What is that
Yeah.
point? So for your,
Yeah.
like, how did you even decide that, okay, this is the point, I don't need that monthly salary, and this is, I leave my job and start up something my own? How did it happen? And would
Mm.
love to understand how did you plan around it?
And from that discussion, we said, ki, okay, I'm going to sort of build PM Curve. It was like it was like even like my last day at an academy was not over, and I just created a website, and I said, ki, you folks can just sort of start applying and all that. So
One thing you wish you knew before starting PM Curve.